Good morning.
ප්‍රියන්ත මහත්තයා ඉන්නවද?
බැංකු ගිහින් මැඩම්.
සම්පත් online banking. පහසුයි ලේසි කාලේ ඉතුරුයි. සම්පත් බැංකුව හෙට දින එළිය කරයි.
A very good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of News First Weekend. I'm Arundhati Mudannaika. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
United National Front for Good Governance is officially established. SLFP nominations ready for submission.
මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා කුරුණෑගල දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ අපේක්ෂකයෙක් හැටියට නාම යෝජනා ලබා දීමට කටයුතු කළා තියෙනවා.
Main parties criticize each other's nomination lists.
අපේ ලයිස්තුව බලපුවා එක දූෂිතෙක්වත් නැහැ. කුඩු කාර්යෝ නැහැ. එතනෝල් කාර්යෝ නැහැ. මිනිමරුව නැහැ.
Reveal the true objective of Mahinda Rajapaksa's bid to return to power. A statement from Sujiva Senasinghe.
ඔය නවත්තපදන ජනාධිපති ධූරය. දැන් පටන් ගන්න മന്ത്രി ධූරේ. නවත්තපදන පටන් නෙමෙයි. පටන් ගන්න තැනින් ආපහු පටන් ගන්නවා කියලා කියන්න ඕනේ.
Road accident involving a jeep used at a rally attended by Mangala Samaravira claims the life of a bystander.
And now the story is in detail. Leaders of several coalition parties of the United People's Freedom Alliance officially joined the United National Front for Good Governance today by signing a memorandum of understanding at Temple Trees this morning.
The MOU of the United National Front for Good Governance was first signed by UNP leader, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and Venerable Athuraliye Ratanathero and Minister Partli Champika Ranawaka of the Jathika Hela Urumaya. The MOU states that the country's unity and territorial integrity will be accepted during political conventions on the country's peace and reconciliation. Moreover, those who signed the MOU have agreed to give priority to establish the new electoral system, which could not be passed following the January 8th victory, and also implement the Constitutional Council and independent commissions which were enacted by the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. The MOU also stresses the need for the passage of the Right to Information Act and the National Audit Act and the introduction of a National Planning Commission, Code of Conduct for public representatives and new laws that impose severe punishments for fraud and corruption.
ඒ බලාපොරොත්තු වුණා වෙන වෙනම එන්න. ඒකම හිටපු මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ
We were hoping on contesting separately, but at the same time we had to face the attempts of Mahinda Rajapaksa to cause a counter-revolution to regain power. What we want is to unite every community in the country. We want to enter a new era. This is what we have come here to do. The symbol of the United National Party is just a temporary mechanism.
తాවකාලික යන්ත්‍රණයක් විතරයි. එක්සත් ජනතා නිදහස් සන්ධානයේ වෙනස් වෙයි.
We were hoping that the UPFA would change and that it would transform to a movement that would suit the country. But now it is clear to us that this cannot be achieved within the party. We know that our policies are different to the policies of the United National Party. But we hope to take this political reform forward. We believe that after the 17th of August, the leadership of President Maithripala Sirisena will be able to change and transform the Sri Lanka Freedom Party with a new set of people and join this broad alliance.
මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ නායකත්වයෙන් හැකි වෙයි කියලා.
බුලට් එකෙන් කරන වැඩේ අපි බැලට් එකෙන් කරා. January 8.
What can be done with the bullet? On the 8th of January, we did with the ballot. We moved forward with President Maithripala Sirisena. We brought in the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. He ate from the Parliament canteen and sat there and engaged in a complete battle with us to curtail his powers. We told him to leave aside Mahinda Rajapaksa and remove the corrupt. We are not taking this political decision against anyone personally. Dr. Sarath Amunugama also spoke to me and told me to publicly announce that he too is joining this front.
ප්‍රසිද්ධිය ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න මම මේ බලවේගයත් එක්ක එකතු වෙනවා කියලා.
අපි අතරේ නොයෙකුත් කාරණා පිළිබඳ මතභේද තියෙන්න පුළුවන්.
There may be a difference of opinion amongst us on various issues, but we have no issue amongst us over the matter of good governance and reconciliation among every community of the country.
අපි අතරේ කිසිම ભેදයක් නැහැ.
Meanwhile, another MOU was signed by Ministers Rajitha Senaratne, Arjuna Ranatunga and MKADS Gunawardena for the progressive group of the SLFP. In line with this occasion, Minister Rajitha Senaratne signed nominations from Kaluthura, Minister Arjuna Ranatunga from Gampa and Minister MKADS Gunawardena from Trincomalee, all under the symbol of elephant.
අපි ජයග්‍රහණය අපිට විශ්වාසයි.
We are certain of our victory. We also state that following that victory, we will join hands with the President once again and strengthen the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
ජනතාවට පොරොන්දු වෙනවා.
ඒ ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ මන්ත්‍රීවරයෙක් විදිහට මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ
හිටියොත් අපි ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරනවා යාව.
If he does, we will reject him. In the meantime, if he holds a high authority of power in the party, that too can be removed. Once his party membership is cancelled, they have to function as an independent.
General Secretary of the UPFA Susil Premajayantha says that nominations of outer provinces have been signed and directed to those respective provinces.
Arrangements were made at the Mahaveli Centre in Colombo today as well for UPFA representatives to sign nomination papers. Several former parliamentarians have been given the go-ahead to contest the general election this time around as well. We have finished signing nominations. We are now signing the last few nominations and sending them to the respective provinces. Yes. We have still not finished the matter in the Gampa district. As district leader, the matter is being solved. Certain politicians who were expecting candidacy for the upcoming polls voiced their protest as they did not receive nominations. Susil Premajayantha has taken the UPFA into his own hands and is hoping to come to the national list. During the initial period, for 2 days, I was there, and during that time, members who had worked for the UPFA were also there. At that instance, what did he say when he came out? He asked where the police was and asked them to throw us out. So he is trying to use the police to throw us out. We, who worked for the UPFA. We are not people who went there to steal from anyone. It is they who stole from the people. They defrauded the country. He is trying to come into parliament for free because he is incapable of doing so by contesting.
Upon preparing their nominations for the upcoming general election, the United People's Freedom Alliance convened a media briefing at the opposition leader's office in Colombo.
We have taken steps to provide a nomination for former President Mahinda Rajapaksa as a UPFA candidate from the Kurunegala district. Preparation of nominations was conducted by the nominations board appointed by His Excellency President Maithripala Sirisena. The preparation of nominations was a challenging affair this time around since there was a massive group who were hoping for nominations. At the same time, we had to take several policy decisions. The nominations committee came under immense pressure while preparing the nominations.
I am not surprised or disappointed at all about our good friend Rajitha Senaratne. Changing parties is easier for him than removing a tooth. In Sinhalese culture, we believe that the snake which is travelling on the elephant's back is evil. But as a party member, I am deeply saddened and disappointed about the journey of Arjuna Ranatunga. The one national movement enacted under the leadership of Minister Champika Ranawaka has become like a wood apple at present. It has become food for the elephant.
ආහාරයක් විතර දීලා තියෙනවා. දුමින්ද සිල්වා මර්වින් සිල්වා අතුළු මේ හිටපු එක්සත් නිදහස් සන්ධානයේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීවරුන් පිරිසකට නාම යෝජනා නොදෙන බවට ආරංචි සියල්ලම හෙට දවල් 12.
You can see about all these reports for yourself at noon tomorrow. As soon as nominations applications are submitted, the returning officers take copies and put it up on the public notice boards.
The group staged a rally and a demonstration today as well, demanding that former UPFA parliamentarian Duminda Silva be given a nomination.
The demonstrators who arrived in a procession began their demonstration opposite the Mahaveli Centre in Colombo, where nominations of the UPFA were being signed. The police requested the demonstrators to leave the premises as there was no responsible official at the centre at the time. Thereafter, the demonstrators arrived at the opposition leader's office and staged their demonstration there. As there was no one to hand over their letter of request there as well, the demonstrators stated that they wanted to hand it over to the president. Thereafter, 5 of the demonstrators were given the opportunity to submit their letter to the presidential secretariat.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට යන නාම යෝජනා දීම සිද්ධ කරනු ලබන්නේ.
The granting of nominations for prospective parliamentarians is carried out by the respective parties. It is the duty of the party secretaries and party leaders. We are extremely happy that in this case, this particular person has not been given a nomination. Paving the way for people like this to enter parliament, the supreme legislative body that enacts the constitution, national policies and financial regulations, is a wrongful act. Representing persons of this nature in a way that brings the Sasana and the monk's robe into disrepute is not in line with the teachings of Lord Buddha. We see it as an act of corrupt persons who follow the Devadatta chapter.
ගේ ක්‍රියාවක් හැටියට ඉතා අදූෂිත ක්‍රියාවක් හැටියට තමයි අපි දකින්නේ.
There is a profound belief that democracy flourishes not only through government but through the actions and the will of its people, you. As you head towards the polls on the 17th of August, remember to elect representatives who are committed to you and to our country.
Think before you vote.
Speaking at the JVP Wattal Electorate Council meeting yesterday, JVP Propaganda Secretary Vijitha Herath heavily criticised the election preparations of major political parties.
The moment Mahinda Rajapaksa was given nomination, all the drug dealers and ethanol dealers were also included into the list. They say around 4 or 5 people have not been given nominations. Who fed and created Mervyn Silva, Sajin Divas and Sarana? It was none other than Mahinda Rajapaksa. So now there is no point in saying that nominations will not be given to them. Nomination has been given to the last corrupt person, Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Speaking in Colombo today, Minister John Amaratunga elaborated on the United National Party's nomination list.
If you take a look at our nominations list, you would see that there isn't a single corrupted person, drug dealer, ethanol dealer or murderers. But I could not even imagine what I would see if I take a look at the nominations list of the UPFA. In my polling division, the Gampaha district, there are candidates of the UPFA who have affiliations to ethanol and drugs. I do not know why the UPFA feels such persons.
Shortly after this news item was telecast on the main bulletin at 7 p.m. on our sister channel Sirasa TV, JVP Central Committee member Vasanta Samarasinghe contacted Newsfirst over the phone and expressed his views on the matter during the bulletin.
I saw on the Sirasa News a short while ago that the UNP was saying that its list is very clean and that there are no thieves, drug peddlers, ethanol smugglers and fraudsters. My problem is that if they have forgotten what happened in a few months, then after a year, they will say that there is nothing wrong. What about the central bank bond scam? The finance minister and even the economic development minister, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, are in the list. At a time when the entire country is aware of this scam, if they are trying to hide it, then the people can understand the truth. At the same time, there are even bar owners on this list. If need be, we will prove this in the near future with their names and evidence to back it up.
Addressing a media briefing today, Minister of Rural Economic Affairs S.P. Dissanayake commented on the preparation of nominations of the UPFA.
His Excellency the President was made aware when everything including the list of the SLFP was made. So no matter what rumours are spread for whatever reason, neither the list of the Kurunegala district nor any other list will be rejected. There is no conspiracy here. Good governance, a compassionate society and a sustainable peace. There is strong support for this today and even former President Mahinda Rajapaksa has joined us. Therefore, the major development undertaken in this country in the recent past can be taken forward.
Deputy Minister of Justice Sujiva Senasinghe says that the true intentions for attempting to bring former President Mahinda Rajapaksa back into power should be revealed.
He says he's going to pick up from where he left off. Where did he leave off? He left off from the culture of white vans, chairman of Pradeshi Sabhas running around the streets with pistols in their hand. When tourists come to the country, their girlfriends raped and murdered. Is this where he left off from? Casino owners, bookies and drug dealers were given the highest positions. One brother is the Minister of Economic Development, while the other is Secretary of Defence, and the eldest is a speaker, and the son is a leader of everything. And now they are shamelessly saying that they will pick up from where they left off. There were cockatoos and macaws worth 3.5 million, various species of parrots, dogs, made be tailless dogs, hairless dogs and even crawling dogs, and horses worth 3 to 4 million in temple trees. And now they want to pick up from where they left off. They would like that, wouldn't they? He left out from the position of president, but he is starting again from parliamentarian.
Deputy Minister Sujiva Senasinghe made this statement while addressing a public meeting in the Koswat area in Battaramulla yesterday.
Addressing a media briefing in Kandana, State Minister of Defence Ruwan Wijewardena hinted that the UNP is the only stable party contesting the upcoming general election.
There are major issues within the UPFA and the SLFP. Why? Because of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's greed for power. To continue with the thievery he had going on for so many years, he is now trying to creep into parliament.
A rally organised by the Democratic Party was held in the Ratnapura district yesterday.
The Democratic Party's first rally in the Ratnapura district was graced by the party leader Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca.
Your lives, your vehicle, your litre of petrol, your electricity bill, these need to be resolved. Concrete roads were laid. A harbour was built in Hambantota. There were no ships. Ships only come into that harbour at the auspicious time. Just like the Sinhala New Year comes once a year, ships come into that harbour once a year. Even then, it is not a deep-sea ship. There is a airport in Hambantota, and there too there are only birds. Birds from the neighbouring Yala National Park come to that airport. There are no aeroplanes. Massive roads have been built in Hambantota, but the innocent people who lived in those areas are not to be found.
Western Provincial Councillor S.M. Marika explained the consequences that the Kolonnava area might have to face if Mahinda Rajapaksa comes to power again.
By some chance, if Mahinda Rajapaksa comes back into power, let the gods shower their blessings upon Kolonnava. Do you know why? Because they have not done anything in the past 20 years. He will say that the people of Kolonnava were instrumental in his defeat at the presidential elections by 17,000 votes. Therefore, he will not develop the homes or schools of Kolonnava, nor provide jobs to the people here. If a Mahinda-led regime comes into power, they would not mind if gangsters or drug reign supreme in Kolonnava again. However, as the chief organizer of the United National Party, I will take the sole responsibility to develop and transform Kolonnava into a peaceful and beautiful city.
Western Provincial Councillor S.M. Marikar made this statement while speaking at the opening ceremony of the Kolonnava Electorate Party office.
UNP Western Provincial Councillor Jayanthi De Silva participated at an event in Narayanpeta today.
The event was organised to distribute dry rations and provide library facilities for the children of the Dabare Mawatha area in Narayanpeta.
After lying and obtaining your valuable vote, they will turn their back on you. The innocent people will give their valuable vote, but after the elections, the houses of the candidates will be locked up and closed, and they will be gone. I am not like that. I am completely the opposite. All parties should take note of this and approach me after the elections and see if the promises I made are false.
At a meeting in Peterbadara today, former parliamentarian Buddhika Patharana spoke of what can be expected from candidates after the acceptance of nominations conclude at 12 noon tomorrow.
Be it an election or not, I am a person who doesn't stop running. So when an election is at reach, I just have to wave my hand. So tomorrow night I invite all media organizations and TV channels to come and see how those who are trying to get elected to parliament to formulate laws of the country behave by tomorrow afternoon. Please do not cast your vote for the person who supplies most of the alcohol.
The event was organised to distribute high nutritious food packs to underweight children under the Samadhi Kakulu Suwasatha program. Meanwhile, the Samadhi Kakulu Suwasatha program also commenced in the Moravaka area.
One person was killed in a motor accident that occurred close to the venue of a political rally attended by Minister Mangala Samaravira in Kamburupitiya today. Police stated that the accident had occurred when a driver who had attempted to start the engine of a jeep had made a mistake, causing the vehicle to lurch forward and run over a bystander. The jeep had then crashed into a three-wheeler and toppled. The victim, a 62-year-old man, succumbed to his injuries shortly after being admitted to the Kamburupitiya hospital. The driver of the jeep has been arrested in connection with the accident. The National Anti-Drug Drive island-wide door-to-door campaign carried out by Newsfirst.lk and Shakti together with the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board commenced in the Central Province today with the aid of officials from the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board and the police.
The program, which is organized under the theme Drugs Have No Place in Me, My Home and My Country, commenced in the Kandy, Nuwara and Matale districts for its second day in the Central Province today. Today's program commenced from Deltota Kandy subsequent to religious observances.
We are grateful for the opportunity to make the people aware of the various services of the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board via Sirasa. We thank you for this opportunity.
We were able to witness a surge in supporters for the anti-drug drive who have been growing in number day by day. The enthusiasm of the people to eradicate the drug menace and also provide information has seen an increase.
A majority of their daily income is spent on liquor. This is why we visited the Deltota area. The people here are especially vulnerable to the drug menace because of the alcohol dependency.
The program in Kandy was held in Deltota, Galaha and Gampola.
They asked me not to smoke. I have had 3 heart attacks already. I will never smoke again.
The door-to-door campaign, which was organized in the Nuwara district yesterday and today, was rendered great support by the people. Parliamentarian and General Secretary of the Citizen Front, Chesri Ranga, was also present at the awareness program to educate the people of Nuwara on the ill effects of the use of drugs. A religious ceremony was held at the Kandapula Sri Jinendra Rama Purana Vihara prior to the commencement of the program.
The Newsfirst Media Network, which has always served the people in times of need, is carrying out this commendable task continuously. We must come together not as individuals, not as a single group or a community, but as an entire nation to join this effort.
It has been revealed that the use of drugs has seen a rapid increase in close proximity to estates. The lack of awareness on the harmful effects of drugs has been identified as a cause. The awareness program was held in Kandapola, Udapussal Lava.
We concluded the Nuwara district phase of the anti-drug campaign today. We went from door to door and spoke with the people of the district, raising awareness on the drug menace and warning them of the impact.
Another leg of the anti-drug drive got underway in Matale subsequent to religious observances held at the Muttumari Amman Kovil.
Following religious observances at the Muttumari Amman Kovil, we commenced today's leg of the anti-drug drive in Al-Kadua, Hunnasgiriya and Rattota.
Our team, which toured Matale and enlightened the people on the ill effects of the use of drugs, later toured Al-Kadua, Hunnasgiriya and Rattota and created awareness among the people there as well. The anti-drug drive campaign will travel to the North Central Province next week.
A drug-free nation leads to a drug-free
free parliament. Think before you vote.
Yet another cultural centre constructed by the General Secretary of the Citizens Front, former MP J. Ranga, was declared open yesterday.
General Secretary of the Citizens Front, former MP J. Ranga, has constructed many cultural centres in several areas in the hill country for the welfare of the estate people who are facing various difficulties in their daily life. Former MP J. Ranga was accorded a warm welcome upon his arrival to declare open the cultural centre constructed in the Mailpeel area in Nuwara. After submitting nominations during an election, they promised to construct roads. They will say that they will construct 5 more cultural centres like Ranga has constructed. But after the elections, everything is forgotten. Some politicians transport voters in buses to cast their votes. But they forget these voters on the return journey after the vote is cast. With the construction of this cultural centre, the people can have their daily events here. If our activities are genuine, we do not have to be scared.
There are around 50 policemen behind some politicians, but Jai Sri Ranga arrives here at our estates and solves our problems. We proudly say that Sri Ranga was the person who provided solutions for our greatest difficulties. The roof of our temple was broken. Then Jai Sri Ranga renovated it for us. Not only that, he has rendered a massive service on our behalf.
And in sports news this evening, Science College Mount Lavinia defeated league runners-up and tournament favourite Isipathana College Colombo today for a historic victory in the final of the President's Trophy Schools Rugby Tournament. The final of the President's Trophy Knockout Schools Rugby Tournament was worked off at the Royal College Sports Complex in Colombo this evening. The lads from Isipathana opened the scoring and were dominant in the first half, with the scoreline 15-7 in their favour at Lemons. However, Science College staged a gritty comeback in the second half, adding 14 points to their tally as Isipathana College struggled to score 3 points. At full time, the scoreline read 21-18 in favour of Science College Mount Lavinia, granting them historic victory in what had been an eventful campaign. And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of News First Weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.